What you're about to see is like 4 hours of pain and suffering while I try and get the unlocks for the oil HQ, which I've just plopped in there because I got the first unlock, 9,600 barrels of oil, no problem, that was easy. And now I'm sort of figuring out how am I going to get the second unlock? Okay, I've got to do some stockpiling. I decided to move the building because it wasn't quite right there. I've got to do some stockpiling, and I've got to, try and get like 300,000 simoleons of oil sales. Like, how am I going to do that? Well, we'll come on to that. Like right now, I'm just trying to get the right positioning for this petroleum building, and I thought, put it in between the two bridges, so you've got a bridge on either side. Should look kind of cool. And boy, did I take my sweet time about this. I told you, I'm so annoying when it comes to this stuff. Like, such a perfectionist. But I was kind of happy at this point, looking at this. It's like, yeah, when that grows up, that'll be above the tall bridge. That'll look cool. Everything looking nice. But how on earth am I gonna get the second unlock? I'm still thinking about it at this point. What on earth am I gonna do? Okay. So let's speed things up and move on. Now, okay, here is where I'm picking out the buildings. And I started using short tree rows. But short tree rows, if you're doing like a grid or whatever, they can be really, really good. But I find that the double tree rows actually work better in this kind of situation. So what you're looking to do is space them. I was trying to space them out to get kind of two buildings in between each park. So you've got park, two high density buildings, and then another park, right? Which kind of works. And I didn't get the spacing exactly right because you kind of got to judge it. And here I'm just using one building in between because I wanted some variety. This is what I mean about like picking out the buildings and spacing them out and just see what looks good. And you kind of got to play around with this. But you can see there, park, building, park, building, park. And you just build it up like that. And eventually you get the full coverage that you want. Now, one thing that you can do is you can put two parks back to back, and I like this with the double tree parks because you get that straight line and you line that line up, and it sort of adds to the like geometric feel of the place. So you got the curves, you got the straight lines, it's just geometric feel. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, so we're throwing some more in, and it's all starting to come together. We're starting to get the coverage now. Checking out the ferries. Don't know why. Don't know why I'm concerned about the ferries at this point. Okay, so as you can see, the city's starting to mature. We've got lots of medium density buildings, and we're starting to get the high density buildings, the tall buildings that we're looking for. So let's just speed this up a little bit, and you'll start to see some of those medium wealth tall buildings start to show up. So here I am starting to do some stockpiling. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys this. So you throw in some trade depots, you import a bunch of, in this case, oil, right? Then you set them all to export, and you export it all. Okay, and bang, there it goes, and boom, I got the upgrade. Okay, so I didn't want to make you like sit through 10 minutes of me just importing and exporting oil because it's kind of boring. But there you go. That's how you do it. You just throw in some trade depots, import, wait till midnight, export, bang, get the unlock, and then delete the whole thing. Okay, now let's get back to upgrading this. So again, I'm doing the same thing with the DoubleTree parks, and just trying to get sort of fairly even coverage over pretty much the whole area, because I want this to be like, you know, at least 90% medium wealth. It wouldn't be a bad thing to have a few low wealth, but primarily we want this to be medium wealth. So there you go. So we're pretty much getting the coverage now, and it's just about throwing in those parks, try and get the spacing right so that you get the buildings that you want in between, and you know, that's pretty much it. Okay, so you can see things are, you know, starting to take shape now. We've got the Petroleum HQ up to the second level, and we're starting to get the tall buildings in there, and it's, you know, it's coming together. Approval rating 75%, which is okay at this point. We're going to improve that. You know, power, water, sewage, you know, you want to check those once in a while. They're all looking cool. Garbage, that's fine. And we also want to check out our services, because I've thrown in fire. 0 buildings burned down, that's looking good. Health, no deaths, that's looking good. Crime, 1 crime, we could live with that. And education is excellent. So things looking good, so we can start to move on. Now, mass transit. How are we doing? We don't have any streetcars. Trains, yeah, people are starting to commute. And our boats, we've got like over 2,000 people using the boats. You can see the boats going around to Petrel Bay. Now that's exactly what we wanted. That was the whole point, to get the medium wealth workers commuting around to Petrel Bay. So that's all working. And you can see here, right, we've got like 2,500 medium wealth workers, and we've got about 1,000 of them commuting round to Petrel Bay. So all looking good at this point. Right, let's move on. I got to say, at this point, I was looking at the city, and I was starting to get a pretty good vibe for this, right? But I wanted the city to grow a bit faster. I'd already dropped the taxes down to 7, which gives you a little bit of bump, but I dropped them down to 0. And I was like, right, let's get this puppy growing. I wanted it to grow as fast as possible. But if you look at the cash situation, you know, I told you this was going to be pretty expensive. And trust me, it gets even more expensive. Because now I'm thinking, okay, well, I still need to get the last upgrade for the Petroleum HQ and the Trade HQ. Now that means, like, for the Petroleum HQ, I need 800,000 simoleons of sales in a day from petroleum products. And to get the Trade HQ third and final upgrade, I need to sell 2 million in a day of anything. Doesn't matter what it is. So how the hell was I going to do that?